Cowboys OT is brought to you by Sleep Number. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear, is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
For the first time in NFL history, a team has defeated both Super Bowl representatives from the year prior in a short week. Back-to-back wins against the Philadelphia Eagles and now the Kansas City Chiefs as the Dallas Cowboys take down the Chiefs in Week 13, 31-28. This is the first word presented by Dr. Pepper, providing an opening to Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Once again, happy Thanksgiving to all of you out there, and hope you enjoyed that one. It was a fun one to watch, really, from the beginning. Two football teams fighting for their playoff lives, and if you're really honest with yourself, two teams that have been playing a good brand of football as of late, and you saw that throughout this one. It was really back and forth, and it got dicey at different times in the game. Isaiah, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on the Cowboys getting it done against a Super Bowl representative for the second straight game?
Well, Kyle, I'm glad I took my pink drink because I gave me a little bit of bubble guts there at the end of the game. But at the end of the day, the Dallas Cowboys playmakers stepped up, and that's exactly what took place tonight. Dak Prescott played absolute lights out. He got the Dallas Cowboys out of a lot of bad situations. This defense stepped up in a major way as well. It impacted the game. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes did Patrick Mahomes things, but he had to do those things in order to put his team in a position to be competitive. But our defensive line had great coverage up front. Our DBs stepped up in a major way, and overall, this is one heck of a victory for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this was complimentary football at its finest, as you've seen. And this is, 3 straight weeks where complimentary football has, pretty much reared its head for the Dallas Cowboys. When you look at it, the big dog showed up, just like Isaiah said. I mean, you had the wide receivers on the outside, Pickens and Lamb doing their thing on the outside. You had Ferguson at the tight end position. And, of course, Dak Prescott orchestrating all this, getting the ball to who needs to get the football when they're open. He did an unbelievable job out there. And defensively, I can't say enough about what they've done on that interior defensive line. That triple monster that you have on the defensive tackle with Odigizua, with Clark, with Williams, I mean, it's outstanding. And they're able to get that pressure on quarterbacks right in front of their face. And every quarterback I talk to, that's what they hate. When that pressure comes right in front of your face, it's hard to step up in the pocket and get the job done. So can't say enough about the defense and the offense of what they did, and this was a great Cowboys victory this afternoon.
I love to see, not the underdog, but the guy that's rarely used. And that was Malik Davis today. Had a big run for a touchdown to start opening up the game. The offensive line picked up a lot of blitz, a lot of stunts. The running backs picked up a lot of blitz and a lot of stunts. Besides that first hit where they heated Dak up, he had a super game, like you said, Isaiah. When I see the others, as Shaq like to say, because I was an elite other, doing their job so the big dogs can hunt. I like the way CeeDee Lamb came in today and showed that, hey, don't forget me, I'm still over here. But then Pickens still making his marks in the game. George Pickens. I'm saying that right? George Pickens. Sometimes I say Perkins, but I'm meaning Pickens, baby. He did what he had to do. Great game overall. I think we could have ran the ball in certain situations. Isaiah was sitting over here. That's his bubble gut theory. We should have ran the ball a little bit more. But I just truly believe this right here. You got through 2 major games against 2, I think, great teams. Now, one of them don't have a great record in Kansas City, but, boy, 31-28 against a good, solid defense, a Spagnuolo defense. I think they had a nice day.
I want to hear about your bubble guts theory now that it's been tabbed by Nate. You were just wanting in certain situations to run the ball as opposed to remaining pass happy. I mean, there were a lot of times in this game where you could have either had time management on your side or even just situational awareness on your side.
Yeah, no, I guess the thing that gave me the bubble guts or made me uneasy per se is just that Coach Schottenheimer, he should be confident. He should be confident as a play caller. He should be confident because of the personnel that he has. But I think that there's a point in time where you can become overconfident in your abilities as a play caller because you are that confident in your talent. You're confident in Dak. You're confident in CD and George Pickens. You're confident in Jake Ferguson. So you just feel like you could throw the ball in situations that I would like to see them run the ball, not only because of the fact that clock management, but also from protecting the ball standpoint. There's a number of times where Dak put the ball in harm's way today, and we lucked out. Just call it what it is. And I'm being picky. We just had one heck of a victory, so I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, he's tripping. But listen, we got lucky on a lot of different plays today where it was a tip ball or it was a bobble ball and, a missed catch, and it went in almost somebody else's hands. And we saw it there on that last drive by Dak where it almost got picked off. Then the next play, George Pickens fumbled. Those are back-to-back plays where I like to have seen Javonte Williams, who's been running the rock consistently. Last time I checked, he was top 5 in the league.
100%.
So give him the rock. Let him run the ball. You would have negated them to having the ball back in their hands with 4.5 minutes left instead of 5 minutes and 15 seconds. That's huge when you start talking about giving the ball back to Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Those type of plays and those 45 seconds can matter when the games really, really matter.
And you're not talking about not throwing the ball, period. You're just talking about in certain areas, certain situations where you can utilize the ground game in a different way. Now, I do want to give Dak Prescott a lot of credit. He helped you win this football game, and he played an unbelievable brand of football again. Nate, from what you saw with Dak Prescott today, there were multiple times. I thought the 3rd down and goal where he broke a tackle, kind of worked out of the pocket, and then threw it to Javonte Williams, followed by another play where he just fitted in an incredible window, extended the play, found George Pickens at the pylon for the 2-point conversion. That back-to-back play is really Dak in a microcosm on how he helped you win this game.
You remember just 3 years ago, we were saying, man, no more than 25 times we want Dak to throw the ball. Now, he threw it today 39 times. He had 27 completions for 320 yards, 2 TDs and 1 interception. Like I said, and that was early in the game where they lit him up, brought some pressure, and they caught him off guard. This kid has grown. He gets them in the right play. I don't know if he had a kill button on some of the passing plays out there, but you know what? He's doing a tremendous job, and once again, they was trying to heat him up, and he's just maneuvering in the pocket. He's manipulating the pocket. He's being Houdini. Offensive line, you did a great job today, but I'm telling you, with Dak and the way these other guys blocked, it was a super thing.
Yeah, what stuck out to me in this game when it comes to the offensively and what Dak Prescott was able to do, we talked about it in the pregame a little bit, but we talked about how Spagnuolo likes to throw the kitchen sink at you. He's a guy that just loves to blitz you and get after you. But we also talked about how Dak Prescott's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League against the blitz. And today, he pretty much had the answers to when Spagnuolo was blitzing, whether it was a slant to George Pickens, whether that offensive line and Javonte Williams did a great job picking up the blitz, and he was able to feed the ball to CD Lamb down the field, especially late in the game. But in this game in particular, I felt like Dak played amazingly when he had the answers to that blitz. I mean, a couple of times they backed off in zone and maybe confused him a little bit. He was able to use his legs and buy time and wait for his receivers to get open down the football field. But overall, I think he played amazing against the blitz tonight. Yeah,
he made a lot of great plays.
Yeah.
He probably avoided 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. And Dak, and that's what happens, right? You have an MVP candidate quarterback versus another MVP quarterback. So, I mean, these two guys were going head-to-head. You had amazing play by both sides. And Dak is in that conversation. You have to put some respect on his name. And then not only Dak, but the guys that were catching the rock today made so many contested catches. That gave them a chance, and they did not let him down. Shout out to Gavontae Turpin coming back from last week, right? The mishaps that he had and coming back and having a good game. George Pickens, what can you say about his contested catch ability? CD Lamb came back and went ahead and didn't do the runny nose or whatever you call it, but went ahead and just let those guys know that I'm back and I can catch this rock.
Can't forget about Flournoy either.
Oh,
Flournoy had a bunch
well.
of big-time third downs. Yeah.
Fellas, tell me this, man. Tell me this. Tell me, no, seriously. How fast is Pickens?
Yeah.
Deceptively, too.
Oh, man.
He just gains ground on people. Like the one late play, I'm like, man.
He's an incredible route runner. A lot of things going well for the Cowboys. Of course, we've got more Cowboys OT coming your way in a matter of moments. We're going to have some instant reaction from the locker room. We'll also have some highlights as well. Let's take a look at some of the celebrations. Jake Ferguson's got his whole hand inside that turkey. Everybody's celebrating after the Thanksgiving win. Cowboys take down the Chiefs 31-28. More to come from the Star in Frisco.
Get your hand out of home.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights of the Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes making his first start at AT&T Stadium as a pro, as Dak Prescott and company look to keep their momentum rolling from a win over Philadelphia on Sunday. Opening drive for Dallas did not go to plan. Dak Prescott pressured. He throws it right into coverage. It's an interception to start the game for the Kansas City defense, pushing them into enemy territory on their opening drive of the game. Of course, the pressure is what forced the interception. Dak hit as he threw it, and an easy pick for the Chiefs. 2 plays later, Rashee Rice on the flat gets a little bit of a seam, and that's all he needed from Patrick Mahomes. The touchdown puts Kansas City up 7-0. Dak Prescott and company would respond. How about this? Back of the end zone, CeeDee Lamb, who was on a redemption tour early. He had 4 receptions in the first drive, Isaiah.
Yeah, that route right there is what I call McNasty. I love McDuffie, but not tonight. That was McNasty.
He gets the touchdown. Dallas ties it at 7, but Patrick Mahomes and company all the way back down to the goal line again. They had to go for it on 4th down and goal. You know where Patrick Mahomes going. He's going to his target, Travis Kelce, 4-6. Dallas would tack on a field goal, but they would tack on a whole lot more after a couple defensive stops. Late in the second quarter, Malik Davis gets going, number 43 for 43 yards. This was a big-time run, Barry.
Yeah, without a doubt. You see him get through the hole right there, make the whole safety miss. And I didn't realize he had juice like that, but he got all the way to the end zone. Big-time play.
Dallas leads it 17-14 at the break. They would tack on a field goal in the third, but we fast forward to the fourth. Patrick Mahomes having to roll out on 4th down and goal again, and he goes up over the top to Rice, his second touchdown, and they would take a 21-20 lead. Dallas in need of a big play. They found one with George Pickens. Pickens puts the stutter step on a defender down the right sideline, hurdles another defender over the top, gets inside the 10-yard line. It would not be easy for Dallas following the big play to Pickens, though. Dak Prescott again behind center on 3rd down and goal. He gets pressured off the left side, escapes out to his right, keeps his eyes downfield, and finds Javonte Williams for a receiving touchdown. Dallas back on top. Dak just doing everything he could to keep this team alive late, and he would do it here on 3rd down and goal. He'd do it again on the 2-point conversion attempt. Dak rolls out from pressure, finds a perfect pass to George Pickens for the 2-point conversion. Dallas would lead 28-21. They would tack on another field goal to go up by 10, but you know who you're playing? It's Patrick Mahomes, for goodness sake. He's going to keep every opportunity alive for his team. Finds this one down the field to Xavier Worthy. Somehow kept his feet going despite the pressure from Dallas Cowboys defense, and he would have the full 7 points on the board. Back of the end zone, Hollywood Brown gets the toe tap. It's a 1-score game again in Arlington. Dallas just couldn't cover in the back of the end zone there, Barry.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's a tough play to cover. You know, that connection between Dak Prescott and Hollywood Brown is amazing right there. Good toe tap at the back.
So Dallas then forced with trying to salt this game away. They would do it with Dak Prescott to George Pickens. Pickens a little slow to get up, but that's okay. He would have the 2-minute timeout to take a breather. He'll have an extra week to take a breather because that was it. Dallas holds on to win it. They push it past the 2-minute timeout. And then, of course, the embrace with Andy Reid and Brian Schottenheimer defeating the Kansas City Chiefs. Of course, the team that his dad, Marty Schottenheimer, coached for so many years. As we take a look at the final stats brought to you by Miller Lite, Dallas becomes the first team in NFL history to defeat both Super Bowl representatives in back-to-back weeks in a short week. And they're the first team to do it in back-to-back weeks since 2016. Welcome back in to Cowboys OT. It was a fun one, as you can see there, but Isaiah, this is the type of game and the type of win and streak you can start to build confidence, build a culture around, and that's what Coach Schottenheimer is trying to achieve.
I like it a lot. I like what these guys are doing. Last week was one heck of a start, and then they picked up exactly where they left off. Obviously, you mentioned it right there in the highlights. Dak Prescott got by one of the best defensive coordinators in the league, and they caught him off guard. But guess what he did? He responded. He learned from it. He remembered his film. He remembered that, I can't do that. I touched the stove. It's hot. I'm not going back to that. And from that point forward, he did nothing but make plays. This dude was unhinged. He was relentless. He was unwavering in his in his pursuit to go out here and make sure that the Dallas Cowboys were in the best position possible to go win this ball game. Defensively, these guys made plays when they need to. They were going against Patrick Mahomes. He's going to make plays. He made plays. A lot of those plays he made, he was under duress. Quentin Williams was on his tail. Sam Williams was on his tail. Everybody and their mama was on his tail. It didn't matter. He still found his guys. So when you get down to these tough ball games against these tough opponents that have been proven to be the best in the league, you have to have your best players step up, and that's exactly what took place tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you look at it, the confidence is growing within this unit. I mean, offensively, defensively, it doesn't matter. Slow start with the interception, you give up 7 points, there's no wavering with this team. You give up 14 points in the first quarter, there is no wavering within this team. This team is cool, calm, and collected. And one of the best shots I've seen all game is when I believe Kansas City took a lead later in the game, and they zoomed in on Dak Prescott, and he's sitting there with a big old smile and just like, oh, man, we got this. No worry in the world. So the confidence is growing with this team, and what I loved about this context this evening was there was, only 7 penalties total for the Dallas Cowboys for 50 yards? I mean, we saw so many back-breaking penalties earlier in the season and even last week. So this team is getting coached up. They're going in the right direction, and the confidence is growing.
Isaiah, you said yourself before this game started in our pregame show, he said we needed to be 70%. On third down, we wasn't. We was 9 for 16 for 56%. On third down. So we kept the ball. We owned the time possession with 30 minutes and 58 seconds. I was kind of like, 3 minutes and 6 seconds short, but hey, that was my bold prediction. But I'm telling you, these guys are playing with great confidence. Coach Schottenheimer, wow, I'd like to just run the ball just 3 more minutes, okay? And I'll be okay.
Hey, everybody can learn a little bit. It's not always perfect. And you know what we did see a couple times in this game was a guy like CeeDee Lamb who stepped up big after the drops that he had on Sunday against Philadelphia. We're going to hear from CeeDee Lamb when we come back. His thoughts on the Cowboys' 31-28 win over the Kansas City Chiefs. More Cowboys OT right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
CeeDee, let's talk about this victory. How does it feel to win on Thanksgiving again?
It feels great, man. 3 in a row is always good as a team achievement. And overall, for myself, man, it's just good to be back on the right track.
Can you talk about yourself? You had a lot of nice catches. The touchdown play in particular. Can you talk about that particular play? The touchdown.
Great play. Great play call by Shotty. We got the coverage that we wanted. All I knew is I had to run my route the way I knew how and finish the play, and that I did in 7 points.
It seemed like there was a battle out there. Every possession, it was either you caught it or there was a penalty flag.
It's normally how it goes. That's why I said no one can really guard me. It's just me driving the ball, and I don't do that often. So it's just a series of events. It's a great experience for me. I've learned a lot, and on forward, we're moving forward.
When you see a player like Jadeveon Clowney getting the sacks that he did, I mean, what does that speak to the defense today as well?
Man, JD's showing up, and I'm happy. The defense is showing up. They're playing together. We're playing together. The camaraderie is building. The brotherhood is building. The bond is overall growing. And, I mean, we can feel the energy throughout the environment, the facility, the stadium. The fans are involved. So, overall, we feel good. We take this win, sit on it for about a week, see y'all in Detroit after this.
Shotty said earlier in the week that you had that look in your eye. You wanted this to be all business. How personal was getting back out on the field and having a performance like this tonight?
This game ain't the only game I'm about my business. I can promise you that. So do what you want with that info.
How'd that turkey leg taste?
It was cool. It's cool. Better than I expected.
CeeDee Lamb after the game. You can catch all the Cowboys postgame locker room on DallasCowboys.com after the fact. The Cowboys take down the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28, the final score from AT&T Stadium. And Nate, we saw a recharged, re-energized, refocused CeeDee Lamb, especially in the first half. He made some big plays, and then, of course, as soon as Kansas City started looking his direction, that's when it opened things up for George Pickens. This is the reason you have these two guys here.
And I've always believed this one thing, that we cannot deal properly for Dak if we don't have CeeDee and Pickens. These guys are a pair. They are one, and that's just the bottom line. One cannot be as big as they need to be without the other. CeeDee, way to come back, baby, way to block out whatever was there, and yeah, you're the man.
Let me go ahead and translate that for y'all. That was Nate's way of saying pay George Pickens. That was Nate's way of saying that. Double J, get the man paid.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct, Nate. These guys have to be together. These guys are in tandem, along with Jake Ferguson. I don't think you can remove either one of these three guys from the equation. You need all three. And the way that these two receivers complement each other is just exactly what you were saying, Nate. If you swing one way, you're going to double one side. You can't double both receivers. Well, you can, but then you're going to be ISO with Jake Ferguson. That's why I say you need the trifecta. But one guy starts balling in one game, and you start focusing on him, and then the other guy starts balling. And then you start trying to play pong and start going back and forth, and you just can't. You're going to pick your poison, and the quarterback that's throwing them the ball is too good for you to be trying to pick and choose which one you want to put your attention on.
Yeah, that's why, they call these two the dynamic duo, or at least I call them the dynamic duo, because you need both of them out there to be productive offensively. But when it comes to CeeDee Lamb, this is what the great ones do. They challenge themselves to get better. He challenged himself. I got to quit these drops. I got to come out here for my team and produce. And that's exactly what he did. 7 catches, 112 yards, 1 touchdown out there. He challenged himself. He got better, and now it's moving on to the next one in Detroit.
That's the thing, is every time he's come back and refocused like this, he's had a better performance. You saw it again today in Arlington. We've got more post-game reaction from the locker room out at AT&T Stadium to come. Cowboys OT rolling on here on this John Madden Thanksgiving, a big-time win for Dak, Shoddy, and the entire squad. Cowboys OT here from the Star in Frisco rolls on with Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Yeomans, and we've got our very special guest from inside AT&T Stadium. It's the one, the only Malik Davis, who had a 43-yard rushing touchdown in the win. Malik, thanks for taking some time with us here on Cowboys OT. Congrats on the win. What does it feel like to have this momentum continue over these last 3 games, and now what is a pretty nice winning streak for the squad?
First, I just want to thank God. He put us in this situation. Without him, we wouldn't be here. And it feels amazing. This team, we had a kind of a rough start, but we kept stacking, kept believing in the coaches. The coaches kept believing in us, and this was the outcome.
Malik, this is Barry Church here, man. You had a great game out there tonight. I just want to know, on that touchdown run, what was the thought process once you got through the hole and saw that the only thing lying between you and the end zone was that hole safety, and he was in the way, you made him miss. What was the thought process going on right there?
Make him miss and go score. That's it. I can't get caught. Make him miss and go score. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yep, this is Nate coming at you,
Thank
Malik,
you.
man. We like what you've done. You've come in here. They release you. You come back. You get on the practice squad. You build up. You're integral part of the running game, man. What does that mean to you?
It means everything. I've been working my whole life for opportunities like this in this moment. It feels great. It means everything.
All right, Malik, man, this is Isaiah Stanback. I got 2 questions for you, boss. First question, how much does that chain weigh? And then number two, what does it feel like when you were in a close game and you line up in the huddle with CeeDee Lamb on one side, George Pickens on the other, Jake Ferguson at tight end, and your QB4 leading the way?
The first question, it's high, it's up there, some grams, but me just knowing CD and George out there, I just know we winning the game. Like, honestly, in my head, I just know, like, can't nobody guard them. I don't care who it is, so that's how I feel, and I just know when we throw that ball up to one of them, they getting that ball. So.
Malik, it really feels like you are one of the best stories right now on this Cowboys offense. You come in as an undrafted free agent. You work your butt off. You continue to be a part of the franchise. You're in and out. You're on the practice squad. You're not. You're back up to the active roster. What does it mean for you, for all the work that you've put in to get to this moment when the world is watching, to show out the way that you did today? Because you've worked for this and you've gotten to this point.
Like I said, man, it feels great. I just kept trusting in God, kept praying every day for what I wanted, and I prayed every day when I was back at home for this moment, and I prayed hard for it, and this is the outcome.
Well, Malik, congratulations. First off, I think we can all say we are happy for you. We've been cheering for you since training camp out in Oxnard, not only this year, but in years past as well. Congratulations on a great game today, and we look forward to seeing more of them down the line. All right, Malik Davis joining us here on Cowboys OT. Awesome stuff as always. And that what a moment that touchdown was on Thanksgiving in front of everybody to help seal the win over the Kansas City Chiefs. 31-28 the final. We've got plenty more to come, including DeMarvion Overshone coming up after the break.
This team can really do whatever we want to do. I feel like we got the guys in the locker room, we got the leaders, in the coaching office, and the front office. They behind us. So you keep that energy going. We right where we want to be. We got to keep attacking practice with the mindset of, look, we ain't done nothing yet. It won't mean nothing if we don't get this next one. So as long as we keep attacking the weeks like that, I think we're just going to keep getting better.
How's the body?
Body's great.
As far as like knee and everything like that, you thinking anything anymore, or is it just now you're just out there reacting and doing what you do?
Oh, no, I'm just playing football now. I'm just reacting, playing a real NFL game of football now. So I'm ready to go. I'm rocking.
Is there anything that they did offensively that surprised you guys? They got off to kind of a quick start, but, that's happened now 2 weeks in a row, but you guys, took that punch and didn't miss a beat.
Oh, no, they was good. They done exactly, what we thought they was going to do. Attack the perimeter, try to get that going. Got some very speedy finesse guys out there. So their game is to let them get in space and run. So we made some adjustments, but, they had a short week too. So we knew it wasn't going to be too complicated of what they was going to do, and they was going to do what they like to do, and that was RPO, sling the ball to the outside, and we just had to run and hit. And once our D-line started going there and you got pressure in his face, now we just got to do our job in the back seven and cover. So, like I said, we just taking steps to get better. It was definitely a good showing. That's a great team, great quarterback, great weapons all around them. So you come out with a dub like that, no matter how many points, that's huge.
Can you talk to the mentality of the team right now, back into the season? Would you say some about mentality right now because y'all really can't lose a lot of games on the stretch?
I think it's just a win mentality. And we ain't even thinking about the play. It's just like, let's win. Whoever next on the schedule, let's beat them so we can worry about the next one. Because we already know, the playoffs and nothing, it ain't going to matter if we ain't winning no game. So the mentality is look, we the best. We got to prepare like the best. We got to play like the best if we're going to do that. So that's what that is.
What does it say about your team that you beat the 2 Super Bowl participants from last year in 4 days?
It just say we won two ball games against 2 great teams. And that's all that say. In order for us, to keep pushing forward, we got to win the next one. So.
I like that mentality there from DeMarvion Overshone, talking about how it's 2 wins against 2 great teams, which it does mean something. Let it be completely clear, because you're 6-5-1. You're above 500. When's the last time we talked about the Cowboys being above 500? It's last year. Actually, really almost 2 years ago now. Jeez. But with all of that being said, you continue to see this defense step up in huge scenarios. It happened again today. Isaiah, when you look at this defense, it's a completely different feel, where now this offense can go out there and say, didn't do our job on one play or one drive. This defense still has our backs.
No, absolutely. And you heard Demo talk about it right there. Once that defensive front gets going, it's very hard to stop this defense. You got the guys at the second level. We have a wave of linebackers. We have a wave of D linemen. The defensive backs, they are actually relatively good when they come up and press man. We saw that today. That was one of the weaknesses of the Kansas City Chiefs. So when we actually got out of that zone where we're sitting back and giving up 8 yards, 10 yards at a time for free releases, and we get up and repress, this team is dangerous. You saw I almost called him Kermit. You saw Patrick Mahomes. You saw Patrick Mahomes running for his life, all right, whenever we had that press, because it disrupts the timing of those guys getting off the line of scrimmage, and a D lineman are able to go hunt. You heard Demo right there just say he gets to go run and hit. It was the name didn't come to me, Dom.
He's too great of a player, man. He's too great of a player.
You can't forget that name. He's the Hall of Fame. You can't, and then you can't throw out that it was Kermit.
Yeah. Boy.
Can't make it up, ladies and gentlemen. Can't make it. But I love it. What Isaiah's talking about is how rush and cover, how they're working together.
Yes.
All right. And when you have a defensive line like that, you're able to, as a defensive back there, you're able to sit on a lot of routes because you understand the ball has to come out fast. And when you have those 3 interior defensive linemen working the way they are, forcing quarterbacks to get off of their spot, and then you have those defensive ends crashing the pocket as well, it makes things a lot easier for the secondary out there. But in this game, I liked how they worked together because even when the defensive line might have gotten held up a little bit, the secondary, they held their own, all right? And they gave, that defensive line an extra tick, an extra second to get after Patrick Mahomes, move him off of his spot, and either force an incomplete pass or get the sack. So I love what I've been seeing, especially these past 2 weeks with the reinforcements that they have on this team defensively, getting after the quarterback and the secondary holding up in the back end. It's a formula for success.
DeMarvin Overshown has done a great job. He's coming off major knee surgery. He comes out there and he makes solid tackles, man. He brings energy to this defense. And so when you see that right there, I thought it would be 2 or 3 weeks from now before we see the best of this guy. But he's bringing the energy. He's making open field tackles on great players. He's doing a good job, and his defense is gelling well together.
Well, and they continue to win the line of scrimmage, too. That's the thing. Yeah. That's really been impressive. And a complete overhaul. This is once a team that was not very good on the interior, and if anything was a weak spot on the interior. Now pressure is happening. Yeah. Somebody's going to step up and really pressure whoever is at the quarterback position, whether it's Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or whoever else down the road. It doesn't matter. The Cowboys have that defensive front that can make things happen. They also have some receivers they can throw the football to as well. George Pickens had another big game. We're going to talk about George Pickens when we come back. More Cowboys OT right after this. Phenomenal performance from George Pickens. We talked about CeeDee Lamb breaking the 100-yard mark today. Pickens didn't get there, but he had 88 yards, and they came in crucial moments for this Cowboys offense as that duo continues to tear up NFL secondaries everywhere. Nate, when you look at what George Pickens has added to this offense, how valuable has it been to start the season?
It's everything. I mean, CD, they started out nice. The first few games, CD got injured, and he took over. And he showed us that his route tree is just more than just a straight line player, a guy's running fades into the end zone. He's a complete player, and like Isaiah said in the pregame show, he's a great blocker, and the kid is doing well with his teammates.
Yeah, and when we talked about it in the pregame, we talked about what impressed you the most about, George Pickens out there? And to me, I talked about his yak or the yards after the catch. And once again, it came into the fold this afternoon against Kansas City. Whether it's a slant, whether it's a comeback, whatever the case may be, if he has just a little bit of space out there, he has the opportunity to take it the distance. He's what we used to call back in the day a home run threat or an explosive player. And he has that ability once he catches the football. And to me, I was really shocked about that. I thought he was just a big body receiver, kind of a jump ball guy, just kind of deep threat guy. But he can take those slants 50 yards. He can take those comebacks 60 yards. He has that much ability, and it's definitely proven dividends for this Dallas Cowboys offense.
Man, what's so impressive about him is his vision. He's his awareness. And like most players can do really well when the ball is just right here, right? I get the ball, I get my eyes up, and then I go make a play based upon what I see. And what you're talking about, Barry, is the yak yardage. He's so aware of where he's at in space once he gets the ball that he's able to do things that allow for him to get those yards after the catch. So he runs his route. He takes a snapshot of where the defense is. So when he catches the ball, he's already anticipating where the guy is going to try to make a tackle. He puts one move on him, and then he uses that elusive speed that Nate keeps talking about, and he just gobbles up yardage, okay? Talk about gobble on Thanksgiving. That's exactly what he does when he gets the ball in his hands. He's nasty. He makes contested catches, and he's one heck of a threat, as Barry said. And when you start putting so much attention on him, you forget about the other guy. Yeah, there's
What's
another
his
guy.
name again?
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, exactly. That guy too.
Well, I think you can really say it helps everybody out. If you've got, let's keep the Thanksgiving metaphor going, right? You've got the turkey, you've got the stuffing, right? Right next in hand, but you got that baste, right? That you just kind of pour over the top with the gravy or whatever you got. Yeah. Just a little extra topping on top there. All of that can be the Cowboys offense. You got George Pickens, you got CeeDee Lamb, there's your turkey, there's your stuffing. And then you got Kevontae Turpin, who had some impact plays in this game.
He did.
Saved the game with a fumble recovery, might I add.
Yes.
That was magnificent. It didn't make the highlight reel earlier, but phenomenal effort, and he jumped on top of it, had some pretty good plays outside of that. Ryan Flanoy What a game Ryan Flanoy had. As a blocker, as a receiver, didn't matter. And then you could say the same thing for Jake Ferguson.
100%.
All of these guys are complete now. When's the last time you looked at a Cowboys offense, Isaiah, and said they were as dangerous and as complete as what they've put together the last few weeks?
It's been a while. And I think that one of the few teams that you could look at and say that these guys are dangerous across the board is a team that you just finished beating about a half hour ago. And that is the Kansas City Chiefs. They're one of those teams that at any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, they could beat you with any one of those players. And I think the Dallas Cowboys are starting to become that type of team. Now, obviously, you have your two goons on the outside, but then Jake Ferguson can hurt you one day. Ryan Flanoy comes out of nowhere. Cavante Turpin comes out of nowhere. You know, and then you can hand the ball off to Williams. I mean, they're starting to turn into that team that can distribute the ball anywhere. And again, it has to go back to the quarterback. When that offensive line gives him time, and even when they don't, like tonight, he had to find his way out of some situations, he is making smart decisions majority of the time and distributing the ball to whoever is open. He doesn't have to force it to the playmakers. Everybody is becoming a playmaker because he's getting the ball to whoever's open on that particular play.
And I think there's a lot of that plays into how this offense is constructed, how it's continued to grow. And we've talked about George Pickens. We've talked about CeeDee Lamb. Let's hear from Pickens after the game in the locker room.
Can you talk about the touchdown catch? Describe the play and what was going into it.
Yeah, I had a fade. They went red too. I kind of knew they went red too. He was already playing outside leverage. I looked back to the cue. Dak was still scrambling. Made a few moves, set at the front pylon for him.
And could you talk about how the Chiefs just would not go away, but your guys' defense has been inspiring?
Yeah, that's like one of the biggest things. The defense, the guys are showing up. The guys we acquired as well, Quinnen, KC, some of the DBs, I feel like they're just showing up at a great time.
Did you have trouble looking at this one pass because the sun was in your eyes? Because it seemed like that was affecting a few guys out there.
Yeah, I definitely did. And some of the guys told me, too. That was my first time having that. Just coming on across the route, the sun was beaming in my eyes, so I couldn't even see, but made up for it.
Mm-hmm. You tried playing with the state on Thanksgiving. A lot of eyeballs on this game. You seem to step up.
Yeah. This is my first time really playing on Thanksgiving, but definitely, like you said, thrive for the moment. Make sure the guys and everybody else is on the same one accord. Super high, but kind of like I said after the last one, just keep going. I feel like that's what we brought into this game. Just keep going, make sure we execute, and we're going to pull off the dub.
What can you say about
George Pickens after the win, a big-time smile on his face. There's a smile on Jerry Jones' face. He comes out with a turkey leg. We're going to hear his media availability next.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today.
Don't move.
I'm not moving.
Jared, keep coming forward.
Why are you pushing me? I'm not going to move.
Believe it or not, it tastes pretty good. I think you guys having a lot of fun. Of course, really, I do want to say it, John Madden. It was a lot of great times. What a great win on Thanksgiving Day. So what a Thanksgiving we have about this bunch. I don't think I've ever been in a more appreciative locker room than the game that they played today against a mighty special team.
Are you Eagles a win over the Chiefs? Does it feel like this team can beat anybody in the NFL right now?
Well, I'll say this. We're playing good teams, and we're playing really good. And we're playing good on both sides of the ball, really. And so I feel good about where we are as compared to where we were. Hope our fans do. We're playing teams that are obviously hard to beat, and they don't go easy, as you can see right at the end. But what a thrill to compete at this level. I really can't say enough about how our defense is shaping up, particularly some of those guys that we have had, but they were injured, especially a couple of young ones, and they really were difference makers out there today. Overshawn really gave them some problems, so I'm pretty proud of this bunch.
Considering the opponents the last 2 weeks, last time you've seen a better two-game run by your team, what you did against Philadelphia and tonight against the Chiefs?
Well, under the circumstances, and of course, I don't remember a better 2 games back-to-back here at home.
Right.
And these guys played inspired. Kansas City had a nice crowd here. And so it was really important to us to play the way we did because they were here to really be there for Kansas City. So I just can't tell you the respect I have for Kansas City, job they've done. As you know, they've got some people that are very dear to me, the Hunts that live here. Lamar was so special to me early at my time in the NFL, and so I appreciate him so much. As a matter of fact, the first time we ever played him here, I gave him and his family my suite so that they could watch the game. I appreciate true founder of the NFL. So, but I am glad we've got a little trophy that he made, that I'm real proud of it, that I'm going to be happy to get that back home. Kansas City's had it for last couple of times we played. Lamar, rather than me borrow it, show somebody one time, made me drive by in a car with my guest just to see it in the window. So we'll have some fun with that.
Jerry, you took a lot of criticism.
Jerry Jones excited to get the Preston Road Trophy back in his possession. The Cowboys get the win on Thanksgiving. We wrap things up when we come back.
To watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concession, and on Yeti.com. And by Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com.
Final stats as the Cowboys improved to 6-5-1, 31-28 the final score here in Week 13. A Thanksgiving Day win for the Cowboys, taking down the previous AFC champions, really putting a big-time dash in the hopes of Kansas City's playoff picture. Cowboys keep their playoff hopes alive as well. Back here on Cowboys OT as we wrap things up from the Star in Frisco with Barry Church, Nate Newton, and Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Gentlemen, Cowboys take on the Lions in a week. It's a Thursday to Thursday matchup. How do they keep this thing going?
Well, you can see, the confidence and you can see the momentum really gathering with this unit overall. But what the Dallas Cowboys have got to do is that what they've done these past 3 games. Focus on the task at hand, take one game at a time, and once the season's done, you'll see where you lie, but you got to take it one game at a time.
Focus. Stay disciplined. Make sure you take care of your bodies. Do a little extra work. I'm not saying for us go out and run, jogging and all that. Get in the ice tub, get in the whirlpool. Make sure your bodies are ready. Just make sure, because Detroit coming to try to reverse these things, these great things.
Exactly what Nate's talking about. Get your body back right. Use this actual week to get your body healed up because it's going to be physical. Detroit's going to come and punch you in the mouth. You got to be able to bite your mouthpiece and go hit them right back in their face. Watch the film. See exactly the areas that you can go ahead and improve upon, the areas that you're doing well with. Take it up a notch.
I think that's the thing about this 3 games in 12 days sort of mentality, or really it's more like 11 days since it was going Monday to Sunday. So you take away all of those games, you put it all together. This is the stretch that's going to really test you. This is the stretch that's going to test the body, test your recovery. And, of course, out of the 3 teams, Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Detroit might be the toughest matchup for the Cowboys. But we'll have plenty of coverage on it next week as we lead into that matchup on Thursday Night Football. Jake Ferguson happy with the win. He's got the turducken going back to the locker room. Cowboys take down the Chiefs 31-28.